everyone. Welcome to the Guts to Fail, March 25th. I'm Brooklyn Calloway, and I will be interviewing Matt Calloway today. And I gotta tell you, like the most nervous I've ever been. And I'm not really sure why, because there's so much to say that I don't even know what to say. But the Rail District series that I've been doing for the past however many weeks is specifically geared towards introducing you guys to Rail District merchants that are down here that have had the guts to fail. And the guts to fail is all about entrepreneurship and just starting and not being afraid to fail, because that's where the good stuff happens, where we learn, we grow, and when you are willing to take risks, you get big rewards. So Matt is my husband, as a lot of y'all know, and I'm nervous about him starting to talk, so I'm just going to take up a lot of time.
What do you mean? You talk all the time.
That's BS. Not when you're
every conversation.
Anyways, so Matt has been in real estate for a lot of years. I don't even know how many, but 12. We have come together to kind of realize a dream in the past, I'd say 6 months or so, and it is called CIBO Kitchens. And I am specifically interviewing Matt so that y'all can hear all about what CIBO Kitchens is, who it's for, why we did it, and how it came to be from the mouth of Matt, because he is the one that came up with this idea more than 12 years ago, or maybe 12 years ago. I don't really know. But I'm going to let you take it away, and I'll probably interrupt you a few times.
Oh, no doubt.
Just so that you don't forget stuff, because you tend to leave out the best important information. So go ahead, tell us about you, and don't embarrass me.
My name is Matt Calloway, and I do whatever my wife tells me to do, basically.
That's right.
No, well, I guess Brooklyn and I met back in 2006, and we were both working for others. We were in other careers. I was flying. I was a pilot at the time, and she was a teacher, and we had both been, that was our paths, right? You go to school, you have a career, you get in that career, and then you think, oh, I'm done. I'm going to work my way up. But, I guess it was me first. I got the entrepreneurial spirit to get into real estate back in 2010. But when I quit flying, I started to find just a way to make money. So I was able to explore like other options. I got into marketing, doing gig jobs and things like that. As we were brand new, just got married. And so the idea of CIBO came about during those years. I remember specifically a time when Brooklyn was teaching. She was the best teacher. She was like teacher of the year in Frisco, like for the Dallas Mavericks. She met Mark Cuban. She was like a great teacher, and she taught GT students. And so she got to explore a lot of cool different things. But I'll never forget, a thing that really I always stuck with was this AHA journal she was doing at the time with her kids. And so during this period of life where I was like, oh man, I want to transition out of this job as a pilot to stay home more, to make more money, and do something else. While Brooklyn was, basically paying all of our bills being a teacher, which she didn't make a lot, but at the time it seemed like a lot. And then we started having kids and it wasn't a lot, and we didn't have much money. And so it's funny in life, you decide to make these decisions, right? And you don't know if they're right or wrong, because being an airline pilot is like, you would think a pretty prestigious job, but it's like, I worked so hard to get to that point, and my whole life shifted. I wanted to be with my family. We were having babies. We had Jaden, who was like 7, 8 years old. I wanted to be home for baseball. And I just wanted this home life that I wasn't getting. And so it was very, very like scary, I guess, to say, wow, I just quit this job as an airline pilot that I thought I'd have for the rest of my life, because who quits a job like that? But I did, and it was very hard at first. And doing the gig jobs and getting into marketing, I answered an ad on Craigslist. This is all leading to CIBO, but I answered an ad on Craigslist. We were trying to make some extra money, and it just shows you sometimes the littlest decisions change your life. They were it was a marketing company for Bacardi, paid like $50 an hour. And so I responded.
Wait,
and
hold on. No, it was $15 an
Oh yeah,
hour.
50, oh yeah, that's right.
It's only $15 an hour. And
Yeah.
you went to Craigslist and you literally went down to that little tab that says gigs, GIGS, clicked it. It was like, pass out mojitos. And you're like, all right, I can do that.
Because at the time they're trying to do anything for extra money. Brooklyn was basically, teachers unfortunately still don't get paid a lot of money. I mean, I think she was making like $50,000 a year, but she went on maternity leave. Well, that cut her salary basic twice in like 18 months. We just kept having babies. But basically we were living off like $2,800 a month, which crazy. We made it work, house payment and all that. And, today it seems like, wow, that's like 1 week of bills. But
hold on. I remember one time we were living in apartments off the tollway and we needed groceries. And so you went and gave plasma. And I remember you were so weak and so tired, you couldn't walk up the stairs.
We would do whatever. I wanted to do whatever I needed to do.
You had coffee on your beard.
Right. Because again, you go through this period, especially when you leave what, I guess a more prestigious career, to like going and giving plasma for $40 in downtown Dallas. And you have to develop this thick skin, and at the same time I was doing this gig job with Bacardi, I wasn't getting paid at the time. It was kind of like turn in your expenses, get paid in 6 weeks. So I found another gig job where it was like convert people to Green Mountain Energy at a grocery stores or whatever. So looking back, that time in life where it was a little more simple, and that developed such a thick skin in me. And it was like, all right, I'm ready to start building something. And those jobs are the foundation, I think, that helped build me in my sales, my yearning to succeed. And it really changed my perspective and allowed me, like, when you try to convince someone in 3 minutes to convert their electricity over when they're going to the grocery store, and you start to be successful at it, you start to build confidence. I said, man, nothing's going to get worse than this job trying to make. I was making $50 for every person that signed up. So
I remember you would come home. I'm like, how many people did you convert? And you'd be like, 3. I think the third one's really going to do it. Yeah. And it was like $100. We're like, wow. It was so exciting.
Well, I got pretty good at it. I did it for a few months, and I was like the best guy doing it out there. So anyway, I started to do these odd jobs on the side, which I think, I definitely think there's a purpose to everyone's plan.
Hold on. Sorry. But back up. So we're going back to the Bacardi gigs. You click, you're going to pass out mojitos. That particular, I'm just going to fill this part in because this is huge. You go to this thing, you're like 20 minutes late. You're like, crap, I don't even want to go. It's only $15. What am I doing? Show up anyway. You're in the way back. You're sitting next to some guy you don't know. You're talking to him, as you do, to just strangers, making friends. And you leave that night, that training for your $15 an hour gig that you're going to do later. This was like a little training night. It's 3 hours. And the next day we were leaving for Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. And we were going to fly for free because you were still a pilot. But we were flying there. We were going to take our cat somewhere to be watched in my grandmother's. And you get a call while we're going down the tollway. It's a lady named Karen. And she said, what?
Yeah. So again, I almost didn't show up to this thing, and I was late. I couldn't find it. She's like, hey, Matt, you were sitting next to the head of our marketing company, Brian Murphy. He really, really liked you. And, we think you'd be good for the market manager position. So I was like, wow, okay. And she's like, yeah, we're going to pay you like, 5,000 a month, and you're going to manage this program, and we're going to fill you all in. And so, that little $15 gig job turned into, at the time, a job I really needed. Again, she said I was still flying, but I was basically on an extended leave, and they were paying me like $500 a month just to kind of maintain the schedule and I was still technically working, but I wasn't. They kind of put me on a furlough.
Yeah,
So,
but it's huge because you were there as an hourly, like,
right.
I mean, these kind of jobs are just for any teenager or whatever. They're just looking for extra money. And you happen to get there late. You happen to sit next to Murph or Brian Murphy.
Yeah, we became great friends. So I ended up doing this job, and it was a little rough at first. I worked a lot. They're a brand new company, but they had this big contract with Bacardi, and I started to make all these connections in the, party and liquor world in Dallas. And then they gave me more and more responsibilities. And, over 2 years, I did this for them. And, still I was starting my real estate business.
But tell them about the lime and the mint and the whole reason CIBO came about.
So at the time, our whole program was based about teaching people in their houses to make Bacardi mojitos, but brand the name Bacardi with the mojito. So it was an innovative concept because I would go seek out people having an event of at least 40 people in their house, and we would bring everything to them with the mixologists and everything. So it was a lot of logistics, a lot of like working with college girls and guys who are just, will they make it to these things? And so I had to hire like 150 people like this, other gig workers. So it was, they put me in charge of this whole program in Dallas, and I had to find a place where we could make the lime and the mint in a commercial kitchen. Required because we were, so they wanted a commercial. I couldn't find a place I could just really rent. So we also needed kind of a warehouse to store our stuff. So I found a woman in North Dallas who had a deli, and basically she had a kitchen. She was open breakfast and lunch, and she had like a space for us in her free walk-in cooler and a place to store stuff. So we basically paid her like $3,000 a month to have access to her kitchen every day that we needed after 2:00. We could store our stuff there. So we were doing this, and one day I walked in, there was a guy there, and he's like baking in the ovens, and he's like, oh, Donna rented the kitchen to me too. So she started to rent her kitchen out on the site. She's like, wow, $3,000 a month. Like, I'm making more renting this to you than I make, in 2 weeks at my deli. And so I was like, wow, this is such an innovative, cool thing. Well, by the time you knew it, we had all these people using this kitchen all the time. So
how many years ago was this?
Oh man, this was like 2000 and at least 10 years ago, 11 years ago, maybe. And so I just thought, man, this is a great idea. And we had another market in Austin, and they actually had this concept, and they actually used this big catering kitchen type concept where they would do their lime and mint, but we couldn't find anything like that in Dallas. So that idea, going back to the AHA journal that Brooke was doing at the time, it was like, I actually found this I did it for a few months, but I wrote down a lot of good ideas, and this was one of them. And I ever thought, man, in life, I could have a time where I could do like a shareable kitchen concept, I really want to do that, because I thought this is just too great. Like, here, this woman was struggling really at her deli. You could tell she kind of was getting out of it. She had a regular crowd, but she was starting to make more money just renting her kitchen. So that was an idea to put it in the back of my head. And, over the course of the years since, I've always logged that, and I thought, man, I want to do that one day if I ever could, right? And I started to develop during these years. I started to develop this sense of writing down ideas and going through the struggle of these gig jobs, and trying to make a dollar, try to make some money the hard way. It taught me, to really, like the guts to fail. That was my guts part, I think. And it helped me develop my guts to have humility, get up every day and just keep grinding towards an ultimate goal.
Your grit.
Yeah, I mean, I read something yesterday. It was, you're cashing in your yield of your crops that you started planting 18 months ago, right? Today. And so it's like in this concept, CIBO, like I planted that seed so long ago, but I had no way to figure that out. So, the Bacardi thing started to wind down. My real estate business started to get busier. See, at the same time, I was working on real estate because that was my ultimate goal. And that's a whole nother like story, I guess, because that same era in life, those 2 or 3 years where I was struggling through stuff and Brooke was teaching and we were having babies and we didn't make much money. At the same time, I was fueling my real estate business and trying to make that happen too. And so it was just an idea at the time that got put to the back shelf and I really started to zone in on real estate. But what I didn't know at the time was, real estate in 2013 in Frisco, the real estate market just flipped and it started to pick up. Before that, we were in a real just kind of flat line, I guess. I was getting my feet wet. But her being a teacher really helped my business because I sold like all my houses to all my clients were teachers at the time. And so, we worked well as a team. We didn't know it at the time, but again, her teaching job helped get me clients to build my real estate business. And when you think about, we were in both those careers at the time, flying and her and teaching, and then now I'm transitioning. Well, I'm getting that entrepreneurial spirit going, right? I'm like, okay, here we go. While she's teaching. And so she's starting to see me have success. And I'll never forget the day I quit. So Bacardi, so progressing, this marketing company got bought out by a big company that basically wanted to hire me full time to run multiple markets and pay me a salary of like 50 grand a year. Well, about that time, my real estate business in 2013, I had like 9 closings coming up. And I hadn't really closed a lot, but I've been working a lot. I was so busy. Well, all of a sudden it was about to be payday because I was about to close like 9 deals in 45 days.
That was like a really happy time because
most money, this was like $100,000. And this was in like 2013. And Brooke and I, like, we knew this was coming. And I'm just like, it's time. Like the day they offered me that job, I easily said, no, thanks. Because at this point, I felt comfortable enough to say, if real estate doesn't work out, at least we're going to be comfortable for the next year the way we lived. And so I just said, I got to put 100% of focus into real estate. So I quit that job and I'm like all in on real estate. And I mean, 2013 was my first big year and the first time we started to make, really have success and make money. And I became this strong entrepreneur mindset where you wake up every day and you're working today to make something happen 6 months or 2 months, 3 months from here, right? We'd always say, what's in the hopper, right? I'm constantly working today for tomorrow or for down the road. So Brooke, she's a great teacher and you guys probably know, like she's using her teaching skills in a whole different way now, but she was an amazing teacher, but she would see me have the success and I would go on, I'm at lunch right now on a lunch meeting and I'm doing what I want and when I want. And she's just like, I'm here watching kids. I hate this. And she would say this every day. She's like, I want to do that. I have so much more in my tank. And, here, and that's the thing. She went and got a master's degree during this time. And she got a raise of $750, right? After she spent a year. Yeah. So, you know, all the steps that have to happen in your life to get you where you are today, let's say, or in the future, if you're in the whatever stage you're at in life, you might be at like my Bacardi days right now, but in 7 years, you might be exactly where you want to be. And then what happens, your goalpost keeps moving further and further out. And so now you're like, what's next? What's next? So to see that happen to Brooke, like it happened to me, I finally said, just quit. Because again, I had to go through this completely kind of humiliating / really hard time of figuring out my path and trying to make a buck and just support the family. I had to do that. And I got through it. And I knew I had built up enough entrepreneurial confidence to say, we'll make it. We're going to make this, and let her now do it. And so she quit on April 1st. I think her anniversary is coming up here soon, when she resigned, and her principal was like, no way, that's a joke. Because she was an amazing teacher. I'd say at the top of her game, just winning the Teacher of the Year award and, all this stuff. And again, I got to see her give up that and start down a path of, we don't have time for it, but I know she's told a lot about her story. It has a lot to do kind of similar to mine, but it's different. But her business has taken so many curves and paths, and, so the guts to fail, in my opinion, is the guts part is having the guts to change what you know for something greater, even though you might go back a few steps before you get there. And so fast forward to CIBO. Here we are 10 years later. The idea is percolating. And, my real estate, I've developed a great business, great foundation. And, we're at this point where you consistently keep moving your goalpost further and further. You build up this something inside of you that continues to motivate. You got to be motivated to be an entrepreneur. You got to wake up every day. This is exciting and new, and we can do it.
Yes, you have proven to yourself that you can do hard things, and that we can do hard things with a lot of responsibility on our back. And I remember crushing under this kind of pressure 5 years ago. And now, we carry a lot of responsibility on our shoulders now. And every day we have to grind to make it work. But we now have so much confidence in it's going to work because we're capable of doing hard things. And it's that constant doing hard things that has propelled us, because we keep proving to ourselves what we're made of by just diving head first. And I tell people that, we wake up and just like running circles around each other. We're like tornadoes. Both of us are very like, let's do it. Yes. Okay, we're gonna do that. And we just put it all on our plate, and our parents are like, you need to slow down. And we're like, no, what do you mean? We don't know what slowing down is. So it's hard because we fuel each other. It's like, when you put two candles together, it makes a bigger flame, and there's no timidness. Like when you say you're going to do something, and then we add to it, and we're like, and then we can do this. What's in the hopper today? And
seeing her get excited is what drives me. And that's the thing. When, before I met her, I was like this single pilot guy. Like I never had a girlfriend really. And I just so the beauty about,
hold on. You told me that I'm going to go here. He said that, his dream was to like live on an island and have a couple of golden retrievers and fly one of those float planes in between the islands and live in like a little shack and wear like culottes or whatever those shorts are called.
What?
And Yeah, yo,
You
you
know what you're talking about.
described this,
Listen,
and I was like, oh no, no.
he hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, honestly, like, and this goes back to maybe love and relationships is you don't know when that shit will happen. I mean, you will get hit like a ton of bricks. And
On somebody that I don't know just posted that because they're a Facebook user, and I'm not sure. But it says, "Is this the Brooklyn is so awesome show? I really want to hear about Matt's failures."
oh, I don't know what that is. Well, there's a lot of them actually.
But no, hold on, no, get on track. So, what is CIBO Kitchens? Who is it for? Why'd you build it? Where is it? When's it going to open?
Okay.
All those things. You have like 5 minutes.
We got to get this down because, again, we talk a lot, we go off track, but we got to get focused. So forget that other stuff I was talking about. CIBO Kitchens. So, again, this idea, I think, is perfect timing for this. It's basically a ghost kitchen, delivery kitchen concept where, you know, being in real estate now, I've seen the market go crazy. It's expensive. Frisco's expensive. As I was researching the concept, there's a lot of these in California, New York, high rent areas. And so I constantly had a bunch of people asking, I want a restaurant, but I can only spend $3,000 a month. I want to be in Frisco. And there's just nothing like that available. So CIBO is a shareable kitchen concept, a culinary venue, we like to call it. It's a step up from, let's say, an industrial kitchen. You might just go rent and just put out a lot of food.
Several steps.
It's going to be a beautiful space that's going to have multiple types of users, from that person that may just want to rent it to prepare food and that they're selling, or a dinner drop-off type service. But now we're creating like beautiful white quartz counters. We want a beautiful space that when you rent it, it's rentable by the hour. It's like your restaurant or your kitchen for that hour or 2 or 4, or however much you're going to rent it. But
There's 2 of them.
Yeah, so we're putting in high-end, all the appliances are high-end. We've got a higher-end finish out. It's going to be beautiful. It's almost like a cooking studio. So as we've evolved this kind of concept from day one of just a rentable kitchen to now being in Frisco, it's at the patios of the Rail in the Rail District, 1 block from our house. You see how this whole life has started to come together now. Everything we're doing is now in the Rail District and close to like our community. But I wanted to give a place where, people can rent this space, not have to commit to a huge, scary lease. It's expensive to finish this space out. So, you don't have any overhead in that respect. You can try your concept out. That's the biggest thing, is if you want to get into the restaurant game, you can rent this kitchen and operate like a restaurant if you want. You can use it as a delivery kitchen. You can open the doors for 3 hours a day if you wanted.
Okay, hold on. Let me say this, because there's a few things I don't know if you're going to get to. We're going to have streaming. So there's going to be cameras and television that are hooked up so that you can connect to and stream your live cooking show or whatever you're doing. You can, it's for videography and food photography, light, bright, airy, white, quartz countertops, white cabinets, all really nice, but also commercial, so that, like you said, by the hour.
Well,
so
we have lots of user types I'm finding out. And we have chefs that want to rent it for pop-up dinners. If you just want to get 6 of your girlfriends together and get a private chef, rent the CIBO Kitchen space for 6 hours one night, drink wine and have an immersive culinary experience, you can. It's for those foodies and people who are really into culinary culture, those who love food. You can have this space that you can. We have people that want to rent it for photography, videography, rent it as a delivery kitchen, which is the next level of like where the restaurant industry is going, in my opinion. You don't need all the overhead, but with Uber Eats, in all these apps, you can literally design a restaurant online, use CIBO Kitchens as your kitchen and your place where people can come pick up food or come in and pick it up, eat outside, whatever. It's a totally revolutionary concept, in my opinion, and you're going to start to hear more and more about it. And you already are. but the term ghost kitchens is the buzzword. So CIBO is that, and it's just on a next level because it is a storefront. It's in the rail district. It's not an industrial space. It's a very beautiful. If you ever been to a Williams-Sonoma test kitchen or something like that, that's the feel. So I want people to feel like they're in their own restaurant and they can envision themselves, moving up to that level, or they have an enjoyable place to cook. Because I'm not a cook. It's, believe it or not, I'm not really that into food, but
he doesn't like cooking.
but I think this is, I'm so excited about it and the potential and the amount of people that have reached out. It's one of these ideas that you just start and you're going, and we're a little over halfway of our finish out, and all these people are contacting me, and all these newspapers and they want to write about it. So you start to get a really good feeling like, okay, this is going to be good. I think we've hit something that nobody else has yet in Frisco, and I'm excited to get it open and doing the construction and everything ourselves. It's all a learning thing, and I guess it goes back to that entrepreneurial drive. You just you figure it out, you get it done, and you start to you eventually have that idea. If you don't do it, you're never going to do it. So this is what this year was for CIBO, and we should be open here in a couple months, and I'm excited for it. And follow our page on Instagram and Facebook. It's going to be a wonderful Instagram page because I think we're going to have a lot of great food pics. We're starting to get a lot of followers who are foodies and people that are chefs, local chefs, and all these people into food. And so I'm excited to see how it's going to turn out. And I'm excited to share with you the day we open. I think we're going to just have a big community get together, and we're all going to cook in there, because I know we're going to go down there to cook. When it's open, we're going to walk a block away and have, our own little culinary experiences as often as we can. So.
Yeah, I love it. I know that it's funny to me because I was kind of putting things into perspective, and I know we're a little over time, but I think we're doing pretty good. I look at our kitchen and, it's cute and it's charming, but we've been talking about for 4 years about, oh my gosh, we could redo this kitchen and how to do this. And it pales in comparison in cost to what we are doing down there at CIBO. We are building 2 brand new commercial grade kitchens where the damn Vinahood costs $40,000. And we can't even decide on a kitchen for our house. So you're damn right. We are going to be driving or walking down there, hopefully riding in our golf cart that you're going to buy me soon, down to the kitchens. And we'll just cook there. We'll just take the kitchen.
I guess to end on this, the Guts to Fail, I love what you're doing, baby. I love this series. But, keep these ideas. Again, it's taken multiple different, gig jobs and building a career in real estate, and, in your business too. I mean, it's taken what we've done over the last 10 years to get us to where we're at with CIBO. And I truly believe there's a time, we weren't ready for it before, now everything is it feels right. And so don't give up on your, that dream you have. And real quick, she's inspired so many women. I love to hear it. I overhear phone calls all the time. I can't believe how many teachers have quit, knowing her story. And, it's inspiring to see her success and see, if we can kind of be, again, now I reflect and I look back and I'm proud of what we've done, but I know it's just, we got to have more and more ideas. But, if you can, take this stories and just know that idea you have is going, if you have the will to do it, it will happen. And so you might not happen tomorrow, but keep working towards it, because the people you meet today or the job you might have to take before you want to do it will open doors potentially up to that big dream. And that's exactly what has happened to us, because I can't tell you how many doors have opened for other things that I wanted because I went off and did this instead. And it was that interaction and touch with that person or that business that gave me, opened the door to potentially, that connection or another idea that I can figure it out. So just keep persevering and find yourself a great partner, wife like her. And even though she yells at me a lot.
That's right.
we couldn't do any of this, I think, without each other. So, and then to our family and kids, it's like, that's probably number one. And, to throw that all in there and, never miss baseball games and do all that. And, that's the double-edged sword of being an entrepreneur. But, that's the part I like about it. I can make time to make that stuff happen because, we're our own boss, but it's not easy, but you can, make it work if you want to. So,
yeah, from clicking on gigs 12 years ago on Craigslist led you opening up CIBO.
Yeah.
That
it
one
never would come to my mind. Yeah.
Well, I love you, and I think this went really well. We're only 6 minutes behind, and really can't wait to put this up on YouTube so we can share it and tell everyone. But thank you, and I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I will see you again next Thursday for the Guts to Fail. Bye.
Bye.